Hi everyone, I'm Ross with another Ross review. I'll talk about a comic I read and enjoyed. My format goes like this: I do my brief intro, tell a joke, talk about the creative team of the book, I give a brief plot synopsis, discuss themes, and show some pages to display art, and I give my opinion on it. So let's see here. First of all, I gotta say I'm wearing this very heavy sweater, or sweatshirt, because my heat isn't working. I'm so cold. I'm shivering. Anyways, enough about me. Back to the joke. So, what did one plant say to his plant friend during his first baseball game at the plant version of the MLB? Oh, that's a good guess. But he said, "I'm rooting for you." Oh, that was a great one, if I do say so myself. Anyways, the book for today is called Swamp Thing Twin Branches, and it's written by Maggie Stiefvater. I probably said that name wrong. Oh no, I'm sorry. And illustrated by Morgan Beam, and it's from DC. So I'm not really familiar with these creators, but upon further research, it seems that Stiefvater, oh my goodness, she writes young adult novels, and Beam illustrates the Family Tree series for Image, and she writes Adventure Time, or she illustrates Adventure Time, Planet of the Apes, and Buffy. So, anyways, this is not a trade that collects an arc from a comic series. It's another entry in DC's recent imprint of graphic novels for young adults. And there's actually been quite a few of them. The only one I've read, besides this, was Harley Quinn. And I think it was called Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. And that one was phenomenal. I recommend you all read that one. Now, target audience is kind of a weird topic, it seems. I love that diversity in comics has been broadening so much in the past few years, and while I'm a white male, that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy and appreciate art that's not aimed at my demographic. And a pet peeve of mine is when adults get a lot of heat for enjoying young adult books. But it's like, you like what you like, you know? So what? I mean, I like everything. I'll read this and like it. Anyways. So even though this book has Swamp Thing in the title, don't expect Swamp Thing to be in it. And I know that might not make a lot of sense, but it seems like these DCYA books use DC characters as a theme or a template, or the book is inspired by them. You don't even see DC characters in here, except the protagonist is named Alec Holland. So Alec and Walker Holland are twins, but they are totally different from each other. So while Walker has a lot of friends and fits in with any crowd, Alec prefers to be alone. He does not even have a group of nerd friends, like in a lot of movies you see like the nerd have a group of friends, like they play D&D and stuff. But no, not even that. Alex spends all his time in his lab doing experiments on plants. His goal is to transfer memories from one plant to another. But even though plants don't have brains, he says plants can still have memories. The twins' lives change when they discover their dad has been having an affair. They move in with their aunt and cousins in the boonies, as they even say themselves, but it's kind of like Louisiana, or where the Swamp Thing comics usually take place, because it's a Swamp Thing. And it's a totally different change of scenery for them. Walker immediately makes new friends, and Alec distances himself from his cousins and other kids that he meets, even when some kids try to initiate friendship first. However, like any good story, characters change over time. So while in the beginning I wasn't really liking Alec, my opinion changed as the plot moved on. This is mainly a coming of age story. You begin to see Alec's depression and his inability to let people in. But again, things change and it gets to be a heartwarming story. But that's not to say there aren't some Swamp Thing elements, like besides him liking plants. An accident happens with Alex's plant experiment that affects his own biology. But that is not what the story is about. In my opinion, it's a small detail that does come into play in the climax of the story, but this is more like Perks of Being a Wallflower and less like Justice League Dark. So political and social commentary in here, there is none. Simple as that. It's just a coming of age story. They don't tackle important themes, maybe bullying or teenage life or struggles of being a teenager, but that's about it. There's nothing really that heavy in here besides family life. Alright, so let me show you some pages that could be kind of important to the plot and just things that really stood out to me. So over here, where is it? Uh-oh. They caught their dad with someone who's not their mom. Oh no. Let's see the next page. Over here, we see Alex's plant experiment kind of fell off the truck when they were driving, and it looks like a bird is picking at it. And what's that? Its eyes kind of look not like a bird eye anymore. Something might happen to it. Then over here we see Alex's brother, Walker, invited him to this new party where they're living now, and he's fitting right in, and Alec, he really isn't. He's just going for a walk. And let's see over here. Oh, but look, now it's kind of cool. He meets this new friend, and you get to see her backstory a little bit, and that's a very touching moment. Nice plot point. Oh, and I really like this scene. It was a flashback to when his parents were in the principal's office discussing bullying, and then his principal says, I'll just read this really quick. The problem is Alec. He doesn't seem to understand how to communicate with others in a positive way. They reach out, but he doesn't ever reach back. And that's kind of relatable, because when you have depression, and when people say, oh, I'm always here for you, just reach out whenever you need it, it's not really that easy, because sometimes it's hard to reach out and say, hey, I need help. You know what I mean? And then over here is where he's working in the lab on his experiment in the new place that he's living for now in the boonies. And I really like this page of dialogue too. It's kind of like a professor or an adult that runs the lab, And they're saying people do science for all kinds of reasons. To change the world, to get fame and fortune, to prove something to themselves, to learn something about themselves. I thought if it was for official research, nobody would question the time I spent doing it. And then they say, Alec, adulthood means you don't have to justify your passions. You don't have to justify your space in this lab. Burn that research if you want. And then they say, the real experiment here is you. Oh, my heart. So, anyways, my opinion on this, I liked it. Some scenes I really related to growing up during my senior year. And this is a great coming of age story with a nice little DC twist to it. And I gotta admit, I did pick it up because Swamp Thing is one of my favorite characters. But I still liked it. Did you read this? What did you think? Did you read any of the other young adult DC books? How were they? Let me know in the comments. Okay, bye.